You just paid over £50 for what you believe is lab-engineered, full synthetic oil. In most cases, it never touched a laboratory. It came straight out of the ground. A 1999 industry ruling made that legal, and today we're exposing the exact 10 brands and specific products doing it, counting down from the least deceptive to the one that hides it best at number 1. Number 10. Asda own brand fully synthetic. Here's why this one is actually the least deceptive on this entire list, even though it's still not telling you the full story. Asda's own brand fully synthetic oil is contract manufactured, sold at a genuinely low price, and most shoppers walking down that aisle already assume they're buying a budget product rather than a lab-engineered premium oil. That assumption happens to be correct. This oil uses Group 3 base stock, which just means regular oil pumped from the ground and cleaned up really well. It's not PAO, which stands for polyalpha olefin, oil that's actually made from scratch in a lab instead of coming out of the ground at all. That's the real difference behind the word synthetic. Because Group 3 still starts life as crude oil, it breaks down faster under heavy heat and doesn't protect your engine for as long, especially if you're towing, driving a turbo, or going longer between oil changes. The bottle still says fully synthetic in plain lettering, sitting on the same shelf as premium brands charging 2 or 3 times the price for genuinely different chemistry underneath. For normal driving, oil changes at the manufacturer's recommended interval, this oil performs adequately, and your engine won't suffer from using it on schedule. But if you're towing regularly, running a turbocharged engine, or pushing extended drain intervals, Group 3 starts falling behind PAO's thermal stability exactly when your engine needs it most. The price here is honest, the label still isn't, and that's where this list begins. Number 9. Tesco own brand fully synthetic. This one runs on exactly the same principle as the last entry, but it's worth breaking out separately because it's a completely different product from a completely different retailer, and it deserves its own scrutiny rather than being lumped in as one generic supermarket oil. Tesco's own brand fully synthetic engine oil is, again, Group 3 base stock, contract manufactured and sold under the supermarket's own label rather than a recognized oil company name. The pricing sits low enough that an informed buyer would reasonably assume it can't be genuine PAO chemistry, and that assumption is correct here too. What's worth understanding is that the word fully synthetic carries precisely the same legal weight on this bottle as it does on a £50 bottle of premium oil sitting in a specialist shop. Nothing on the label distinguishes the two chemistries for someone who hasn't specifically researched base oil groups beforehand. For everyday commuting with regular oil changes, this is a perfectly adequate product. The issue isn't the oil itself, it's that the word synthetic has been stretched to cover 2 genuinely different products at wildly different price points, and only one of them is being upfront about which one it is. Number 8. Halfords own brand fully synthetic. Here's where the deception gets slightly sharper than the supermarket brands. Halfords positions itself specifically as a motoring specialist, not a general retailer, and that positioning does real work in a customer's mind. Walking into Halfords rather than picking up oil alongside your weekly shop implies a level of automotive expertise behind the product that a supermarket own brand doesn't try to claim. The chemistry underneath tells a different story. A Halfords own brand fully synthetic oil is Group 3, the same base oil category as the supermarket options, despite the specialist retail environment suggesting something more considered or technically superior. The pricing sits a step above the supermarket own brands, close enough to genuine mid-range branded oils that the gap in perceived expertise doesn't always match a gap in actual chemistry. For standard driving with regular servicing, this oil does its job competently. But you're paying a small premium specifically for the Halfords name and the assumption that a specialist motoring retailer means specialist base oil, when the product inside the bottle is fundamentally the same category you could have bought for less at the supermarket next door. Number 7. Xtech, fully synthetic. Most UK drivers have seen the common name on a shelf without ever really questioning it, and that's exactly the position this brand occupies. Comma has operated as an independent British oil blender for decades, built a genuinely solid reputation among mechanics, and doesn't lean on flashy marketing or motorsport sponsorship the way some of the bigger names do. That quieter reputation is precisely why this one matters. Comma Xtech is sold as fully synthetic, and mechanics and owner forums who've dug into the technical data confirm it's built on Group 3 base stock, the same refined petroleum category as every budget brand already covered on this list. The difference is that Comma's understated, trusted positioning makes buyers far less likely to question the chemistry than they would with a brand built entirely on premium marketing. For everyday driving with regular servicing, this oil performs competently and meets the specifications printed on the bottle. But if you've been choosing Comma specifically because it feels like a more honest, no-nonsense alternative to the big, marketing-heavy brands, it's worth knowing the base oil underneath is exactly the same category you were trying to avoid. Number 6. Ravenol VSW Fully Synthetic. Here's where brand trust becomes genuinely risky if you're not checking the specific product code. Ravenol is a real German brand, and its VST and VSE lines fully earn the reputation that comes with them, built on genuine PAO and ester-based stocks, priced to reflect real synthetic chemistry. Buy those specific products and you're getting exactly what the German Engineering Association promises. VSW is a different story, sold under the exact same Ravenol name, the same German flag on the packaging, and the same premium positioning that UK enthusiasts associate with the brand's genuinely synthetic lines. VSW uses Group 3 base stock. Nothing on the shelf clearly separates it from VST or VSE unless you're specifically checking product codes before buying, which most drivers simply don't do. This is the entry where a single letter in the product name is the only thing standing between genuine PAO chemistry and a completely different oil sold at a similar price point. If your engine specifically calls for PAO performance under sustained heat, and you grab VSW, assuming Ravenol's reputation applies evenly across its entire range, you're not getting what you paid for. Number 5. Valvoline Advanced Full Synthetic. Here's what makes this one particularly hard to catch if you've trusted the brand for years. Valvoline has a genuinely long history in motor oil, and for a meaningful stretch of that history, its synthetic products earn the trust drivers placed in them, built on real PAO-based stock under the older SynPower name. That formulation has since changed. Valvoline's current advanced full synthetic line, sold across UK retailers, is confirmed by the brand's own published technical data sheets to use Group 3 base stock, not PAO. The viscosity index figures line up with Group 3 rather than the higher range you'd expect from genuine synthesized molecules. Nothing about the packaging, the price, or the marketing signals that this shift happened. The bottle still says full synthetic. The pricing still reflects synthetic positioning. And UK drivers who've stuck with the brand out of habit or past experience have no obvious way of knowing the chemistry underneath changed, because nothing on the shelf tells them so. If you've been loyal to this brand specifically because of its older reputation, that reputation no longer matches what's inside the bottle. Number 4. Castrol Edge with fluid titanium technology. This next one carries real weight because Castrol is a genuinely British-originated brand, sold in every corner of the UK from motorway service stations to supermarkets, and it's positioned as the top of consumer motor oil technology. Formula One sponsorships, premium packaging, aggressive pricing that matches the premium image. This is the oil serious drivers reach for when they want the best available. The titanium in fluid titanium technology refers to a titanium-based additive mixed into the formulation, not the base oil structure itself. Underneath that marketing language sits Group 3 hydro-processed petroleum, not PAO. The additive package is genuinely sophisticated, and Castrol's engineering team knows what they're doing within that category, but the base chemistry doesn't match what the branding implies. You're paying a genuine premium, well above the supermarket and independent brands already covered, for Group 3 oil wrapped in decades of racing sponsorship and marketing spend that implies laboratory-engineered molecules at the cutting edge of lubrication science. The oil performs adequately for normal UK driving. It simply isn't what the price and the Formula One branding are telling you it is. Number 3. Mobil 1. Full synthetic, standard line. Here's the detail that makes this one genuinely uncomfortable, and it's rarely mentioned in the UK market, where Mobil 1 still carries enormous weight as the brand that essentially invented consumer synthetic oil back in the 1970s. Mobil's mainstream standard line has shifted over the years toward a Group 3 and Group 4 blend, rather than the pure PAO chemistry that originally built the brand's reputation. This isn't prominently disclosed anywhere in current UK marketing, which still leans heavily on that original synthetic pioneer status from decades ago. UK drivers buying the standard Mobil 1 line today, expecting the same pure PAO chemistry that made the brand famous, are getting a blended product instead, while paying premium pricing built on a reputation earned by an older formulation. For normal driving, this blend performs well and meets its specifications without issue. But if you specifically chose Mobil 1 in the UK because you wanted genuine PAO protection for a turbocharged engine or extended motorway driving, it's worth checking exactly which product line you're buying, because the Mobil 1 name alone no longer guarantees the chemistry it once did. Number 2. Shell Helix HX8. This is where one company runs the exact same trick twice under 2 different labels, sold side by side on UK shelves. Shell's Helix Ultra range genuinely uses Pure Plus technology, a real gas-to-liquid process converting natural gas into base oil at one of the purest levels available, confirmed directly in Shell's own published product documentation. If you buy Helix Ultra, you are getting exactly what that premium technology promises. Helix HX8 sits right next to it on the same shelf, from the same manufacturer, carrying the same fully synthetic wording on the front of the bottle. HX8 is Group 3 hydrocracked base oil, an older, cheaper technology compared to the GTL process used in Ultra. Shell has the superior chemistry available internally and simply chooses not to put it in this bottle, while pricing HX8 as a genuine step below Ultra, rather than clearly explaining why. For standard UK driving conditions, HX8 performs competently and meets its stated specifications. But Shell knows precisely which of its own products is genuinely GTL and which isn't, and that distinction is never made clear to a customer standing in the aisle, comparing 2 bottles that both say fully synthetic. Number 1. Halfords Auto Centers / Quick Fit Fully Synthetic. Oil change service. This is the worst entry on the entire list because it stops being about base oil chemistry and becomes entirely about what you're told, or more accurately, what you're not told, at the exact moment you hand over your money. UK quick fit chains and service centres source their house brand synthetic oil in bulk from contract manufacturers, almost always Group 3, purchased at commodity pricing. You are told fully synthetic. You are almost never told the specific brand, the exact formulation, or the base oil group going into your engine. And the technician performing the service frequently doesn't know either. They pour what's in the drum, and the drum says fully synthetic. That single word does the rest of the work, justifying the premium synthetic service price you're charged at the counter. If you use these services regularly, ask specifically which product and brand they're using before the work begins. If they can't or won't tell you, that's information worth having before paying full synthetic pricing for a product whose identity was never disclosed to you in the first place.